What's up, guys? Another episode of Sunday Sessions with Rich. If you're new to the show, welcome. Episodes are dropped every Sunday. Yeah, every Sunday. I should know this by now, right? Yeah, every Sunday. If you can, please leave reviews and ratings. I would greatly appreciate it. If you haven't catch the theme by now, this is gonna be a session for sure. My guy Phil's got some. I got some. Let's just have a conscious, deep conversation, guys. Phil, man, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. For those who don't know you, man, just let us know about you.
Yeah, dude. So my name is Phil. Man, I've had quite the, even if you just know me on Twitter, I've had quite the Twitter journey. I started off in like the gaming scene, and then I like got to a certain point where I kind of outgrew that scene for a bit, and then I went to the music scene, and then I networked in that scene for a while. Got heavy into that scene, started like throwing shows and helping out with this clothing company. If you see all these boxes here,
That's cool.
my roommate runs this clothing company out of our apartment. So pretty much I helped out with that, and I built I built that, helped build a couple different companies, but at the same time I was just networking and just meeting people.
That's
And
cool, man.
I like noticed through going through like going to shows and things that I was starting to like make real connections with people, and like they were starting to not, I noticed that people were just vibing with me, and like not, because I was in the music scene, but I wasn't necessarily making music, but I was
Mm.
just being myself, and I was, just building a little following. And then at a certain point, like once the whole pandemic started, um um I was still expressing my thoughts
Yeah,
in that scene. I was just being myself, like
that's
literally
cool.
just being myself. But in in natural Twitter ways, some people didn't,
Bro, Twitter is
agree
a
with.
wild animal, man.
Yeah, dude. So people didn't agree with my thoughts in that scene, and people were voicing their opinions. Let's just say they were voicing their opinions, and
That's crazy.
yeah, dude. So I don't know what you want to call it, but I got canceled. I don't know what that really means. I lost some followers. I don't know that's what it means.
I
But
guess.
what people who don't vibrate with me anymore, they now have left. And
Okay.
I started to, ever since then, I just kept with, the same stuff I was talking about. I was just, because
Yeah.
it's cool for it to be distracted by music and by any kind of scene or whatever your distraction is,
Yeah.
from life and the mundane, work, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And whatever your distraction is, at a certain point I realized like that it was a distraction, and
Yeah.
I was going through my awakening process, and like
That's crazy.
at the same time I was going through this awakening process, like I was in this music scene, and
Hmm.
like I was I realized that like everyone around you was like going through that same, awakening process. And like
Yeah.
I was tweeting, I was starting to like tweet about like my process, awakening, like process during the whole pandemic thing. So
Yeah.
I was tweeting how I wanted, and people really weren't fucking with it. So like
No.
they kind of like essentially forced me out of that music scene, and it made me kind of like reflect on myself, because I was like, for a good 2 years that was my identity.
Right, right.
I was this person in this music scene that I actually like, still I make music, I still make music. um like I'm in like a band on the side, and
Oh, that's
like
cool.
I play drums. My drum set's over here, like my
Oh yeah.
so like I'm still like very musical, but like I, to be like forced out of a scene and that I still like am very passionate about.
Hmm.
It's interesting because I took a step back and like reflected on like what my like, passions were, or what my I don't know, purpose, whatever you want
Yeah.
to say.
What
So
moves you? Yeah.
I'm still in that process. I'm about to start my own podcast as well.
Let's
I'm
go. Yeah, I
still,
want to talk about that too.
yeah, we're gonna talk about that as well, I'm sure. But yeah, dude. So like this whole thing went down where I was just basically expressing myself on Twitter daily, and breaking down the current events, like literally
Mhm.
what's happening in the world.
Right.
I was just
Real
breaking them
news.
down. I was literally like breaking them down and giving my opinion, and people were just not fucking with it. and it was, so which is cool. I didn't mind because it was sad in the sense that when I did get canceled, people were starting to come at not just me but like
Mhm.
my friend's business. Like
That's
people were trying to
crazy.
like, because I was associated with the business, and like I was
Mhm.
kind of the face, not the face, but on Twitter, people really associated this brand with like me. So like when they really, when that kind of went down, people were like, well, I don't want to like support this brand anymore if you're gonna like still
That's
like
crazy.
support Phil. And like people were like drawing lines in the sand like over my name. Like it was crazy. And I was like, you
That's
know what? I'm gonna
wild.
step back. So like
Yeah,
I stepped back from the company. I stepped back from like throwing shows. I stepped back from like really like just you know, the scene in general. And
yeah.
I've just been like, you know, focusing on myself for a while. I think actually the roommate's coming home right now. It's funny.
That's good. What's
What's up,
up,
Jesse?
roommate?
I'm like talking about rhythm right now, and like you walk in. That's fucking funny.
That's good. That's good.
Synchronicities, yay.
Hell yeah, let's get it, man.
Uh,
What's up, guy?
What's going on? That's good.
Let's get it.
It's my roommate Jesse. Yeah. Yeah, he's owner of the company. I was just talking about how when I got quote unquote canceled, how like they try to come at the business, all the bullshit.
Utter bullshit.
But anyway, anyway, basically it made me step back and just like, you know, reanalyze what I was about. And I kind of realized that like I you know, my path, the truth seeking, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
that I was kind of really um I found myself spending a lot of my time doing, because at the time, it's at the time I was between jobs, and I was basically living at home, but I was selling these pashminas in the music scene. So like at the festivals, people wear those scarves on their heads, right? And
Mhm.
like, and just to keep like just to keep you like from the sun and stuff. But like I kind of sold those as my little side business. But I was living at home for a bit between jobs, and I was living off those. I was just selling those. But I was like in my spare time, I was just online, like truth seeking, you know, just like going down the
Yeah.
rabbit holes, and just like it was very, it was, there was a spiritual, like I felt I had a balance. I was very much like drawn towards like just, you know, your typical spirituality content on YouTube, like the Ram
Right.
Dass, Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah.
I found this guy Aaron Abke. I don't know if you heard of him. I
Oh
want to talk
no,
about him.
no.
um Dude, that dude changed my life. Anyway,
Okay, I got you again.
um I was doing that whole spiritual rabbit holing, and then I also was also like breaking down the current events and, you know, the news and things like that. So
Mhm.
I was also doing both. But then when the whole pandemic thing popped off, it gave me like, you know, an excuse to really dive into something, because I was like,
Yeah.
it's fucking bullshit. Because like at the time, like I was working at a hospital actually. So when
Okay.
this whole pandemic popped off, like I was literally working at a hospital as a courier driver, like, and I was like
Mhm.
driving, picking up like blood samples from different offices, and
Mhm.
like the hospital was empty.
That's
but like
crazy.
but like on the TVs everywhere, it was just like pa- panic, panic, like, and I was just like, this is silly, like
Nobody's there.
this is silly, right? So like,
No, it's just that media shit, man.
yeah, dude.
Media
I
scared
know
that
this is a
shit.
very long intro for myself, but I feel like I kind of had to just like spew off.
Fuck it, man. Sunday session, man.
Yeah, yeah, right. You made, dude.
Hey, no, I fuck with your bomb, bro. I saw
Dude,
Scooby and Shaggy on.
can I mention a synchronicity that I had today with
Hell yeah, hell yeah,
Scooby Doo?
hell yeah.
So I was watching Instagram today, and I'm sure you've heard of Tinfoil Hat, the podcast.
If I see
Sam
the,
Tripoli. It's
if
Sam
I see,
Tripoli. He's a comedian who has a podcast about
okay.
just conspiracy theories, and it's called the Tinfoil Hat.
Oh shit. Well, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah. So on his Instagram, he posted a clip of Scooby Doo, this episode from like a newer episode, right? And it's an episode about the Anunnaki. And
Oh
it's
shit.
literally not even like trying to like talk about them without naming them. Literally like the Anunnaki. It was saying like the Anunnaki. It was like saying like Scooby, like these beings, like they've like helped like humans like evolved from like all of time, like. And he was like, there's good Anunnaki and there's bad Anunnaki, and like they said like the worst one is like frozen under this crystal lake, and it's like, Scooby, you have to like save the world and save
What the
humanity. It was
fuck?
like, what? This is an episode of Scooby Doo. I'm
What
like,
the fuck?
I'm
It's right there in your face, bro. It's
exactly.
right
And
there
like,
in your face.
even if that none of that is like really like the whole, even if a piece of that is true, like
Right.
they're still telling you like so much in your face, and like kids are watching that, like we watch that. And then
Yo,
that makes me think of like what old episodes of that show like were giving us like truth right in our
that
face,
was
and like
it was this episode of South Park my homie Chase put me on to, and they was basically talking about how the elite, how they control us, and like mocking it, just mocking it, like just basically saying everything that they're doing and mocking it. Like, bro,
mm,
it's right there in your face. This the whole shit. Twitter, Twitter is interesting. Twitter's an interesting place, I've noticed, because you can really network like
mm,
on that thing, and you meet so many dope people that you resonate with. And then especially now, where like I feel like the world is going through a big ass spiritual awakening. So
mhm.
I feel like Twitter is that real like on time in your face right now shit. That's like instant connection.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
it's
give me
like
1 second. I'm gonna close this door real quick.
good.
My bad.
No, you good, you
Dude up
good.
there talking, I heard him. I was like, but anyway, yeah, Twitter, dude.
No, you
Like
good.
literally,
Yeah,
the
yeah, go ahead.
connections you make on Twitter like have changed my life. Like not only have I like in every scene that I've been in on Twitter, like I don't know how your journey on Twitter's been. If you've
Mm-hmm.
always been on like the more spiritual side of Twitter, or
Mm-hmm.
just I hate saying woke. I hate saying woke. I don't know.
Well, let's call it let's just call it spiritual, Twitter,
I
conscious
feel like
Twitter,
that
right?
word. Yeah, I feel like that word's just been so hijacked that it's just like.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could take it back. But anyway, how were you always a part of that?
Yeah, so in high school, I was just like the typical, just tweeting high school shit, just young man kind of shit. Really, when I got to college is when I started, just talking about the universe. And so,
Mm.
yeah, for a good chunk, yeah, yeah,
I love how when you say the universe, like anyone who knows what you're talking about knows exactly what you're talking about.
bro, yeah,
Because like you can just say the universe and be talking about anything. You could be saying
yeah,
like the universe, the
yep,
universe. But
yep.
like if you say the universe, if someone who you if someone who knows what you're talking about knows what you're talking about, they're just like, oh, the
Because
universe.
it's like a universal, it's a universal language. It's like resonates
Yeah,
with every fucking body.
it's so like music, the same thing. Like music, that's like a language of its. Everything's music, right?
Everything's music,
It's all vibration, right?
bro. When I first saw context, guys, I met Phil on Twitter. Twitter is just like the
I
whole
don't even know
desert,
how I met you. That's the best part.
bro.
I have no
That's
idea how
true.
I met you. I have no idea. I just follow like so many people at this point that like people just flow into my timeline. Like
Yeah,
I could be following someone for months and not see a tweet of theirs, and then all of a sudden like they just flow on my timeline
that's
one
crazy.
day. Cause I don't know, I follow like five. Okay. I used to be one of the people that was like, no, I'm going to have a good ratio. I'm going to have like 10,000 followers and I'm going to
Uh-huh.
follow like 300 people.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, it felt cool. But then I was like, I'm trying to build, okay, I tried to build um this clothing company. I was trying to
Mhm.
build our event company. We were throwing shows. I was trying to build my personal little side business.
Mhm.
So I found the best way to do that was just to fucking follow
Yeah.
everyone. And I followed like not everyone. I followed everyone who was relevant to the scene. I made sure who I followed was someone who was active,
Mhm.
but I followed a lot of people. And there was these things that were happening in the EDM scene, the music scene. They're called like follow trains. It happens in everything, I think. But
Yeah,
like,
I remember that. Yeah.
but there's like follow trains in the music scene, and like I was always a part of those, and I was just following a bunch of people. So like, and what I was doing was like I kind of figured out the Twitter algorithm in the sense where I was like I would do a giveaway from
Mhm.
my personal Twitter page, and I would
Mhm.
say you had to follow, you had to follow the clothing company, and then if you won that, so I would transfer like a bunch of my followers to that, and then
Okay.
when I started my side business, my little Pashmina thing, I was like basically doing giveaways from all these different accounts, and I was kind of like feeding the followers all around each
Oh, that's
other, and
cool. Okay.
so like I was making sure that all the active followers on those 3 different pages were all like the same people pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
And I built my Pashmina page from like 0 to like 9,000. So like organically from 0, from like just like giveaways and like stuff like that, you know. And literally like it was so easy, and I was like, this is crazy. and
That's
and at the,
cool.
while I was networking and just finding customers and potential customers, I was also meeting the people, because I was going to the shows, and I would just walk around with like the Pashmina on my head, and people would be
That's
like,
cool.
Phil, like, yo, Phil. And I'd just be like, what the fuck? Like, how do you know me? Like, what the
Right.
fuck? I don't even do, like, I don't really do anything. That's like, at the time, I didn't really like do anything. I was just being me.
Yeah,
But then I needed some side money. So I was starting to sell these Pashminas. So like, I in a sense, I kind of made them, I don't want to say I made them popular, but like, I really feel like once I started like wearing them, once I started like selling them a lot, like
right.
people really started like wearing them, at least in the West Coast, like
Hmm.
LA. Like you wouldn't find a Pashmina in like,
Wait, are
uh,
you in LA right now?
yeah, I live in
Okay,
Long Beach, so like I'm
that's
like
lit.
a little bit like south of LA, but like yeah, the Pashmina thing blew up. That was interesting for a while, but
That's
that kind of died
crazy.
out ever since then. I kind of let it just die out, because ever since I got, you know, the whole thing went down or got canceled, I kind of like
Yeah,
just dropped it. I was like, you know what, whatever. So I
forget
stepped
it.
away from that. Yeah, I stepped away from that, but I kind of learned how to like network on Twitter, and I
Yeah.
learned like the, you know, the flow of like I can make people go from here to here to here, and just like
Hmm.
create, you know, traffic. And it was really cool to like see that work. And
Right.
like and like, you know, I'm still doing my thing on Twitter, and I'm kind of building it back up again. I've
Hmm.
like since gained back a couple, whatever, but
That's
numbers don't
good.
mean
No,
numbers don't fucking matter, you know what I mean? It's
it
just
don't.
like, it doesn't matter what number. It could be fucking 5. Like I know I've touched people, because that whole time when I was going through that canceling thing,
Yeah.
I was still getting messages from people like, thank you for tweeting what you're tweeting. I want to like support it, but like, you know how people are, like I can't, like
Yeah.
people were literally saying like, hey, like good job, like, but like, sorry, I can't like step up for you, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and now it would kind of, at the time it kind of hurt, but like now I'm sure you've seen it too, but like the evolution of the timeline, how like dude,
Hmm.
my timeline is so woke now. But I know
Yeah.
I said I didn't like that like word, but holy shit, I know I'm
Yeah.
like, I know I'm following I'm following certain people. Obviously, who
Hmm.
I follow is what I want to see and what I attract.
Yeah.
But still, bro, that shit's blowing my mind. How many different accounts that I'm running across that I don't even follow, that are dropping like these crazy, like mind blowing things, that have like
Yeah.
200 followers or like 30 followers.
Bro, yeah.
I'm like, how do you not have 100,000 people
Exactly.
like at your
Exactly.
like every like tweeting, like there's some people that I follow that I literally like check their Twitters every day, and
That's lit.
I know they have like 30 followers, 38 followers, that I'm just like, bro, like what you're saying like blows
It
my
hits
mind every day.
deep. Right, man. It's because I don't know. Twitter's just like the perfect consciousness,
And
man. Just streams
I
of
know we're gonna
thoughts.
get into, I mean, I don't want to like ask a question for you, but we're
No,
probably gonna
hell.
ask a gematria question, or like
Bro,
what,
you read my fucking mind, man. I was gonna
like,
ask you that shit.
yeah, because I'm talking about people with like 30 followers, and I found when, okay, on my rabbit holing during this whole pandemic thing, okay, so Kobe died, right?
Right.
The pandemic started right after Kobe died,
Literally. Literally.
literally right after, right? Now, when I was doing this rabbit holing and like just going down like whatever I can find on that subject, particularly like Kobe
Mhm.
died, I was like, whoa, that's too big to be like, what, that's a big person dying. So like there's always something with a big death, right?
Right.
And I saw like he died in like on Calabasas, which is like the 33rd district in like LA or something like that. It's like the 33rd, I think it's a 33rd district or something. But that number 33, it's like
Right.
always popping up and all this fucking shit. Like everything big is like always branded with like this like 33 on it. You know, and
Right.
like those things started to jump out at me. And I don't know exactly how, but I came across Zachary Hubbard, his Twitter, His Twitter is free to find truth, but he has a YouTube channel called Gematria Effect News.
Okay.
And basically, I came across his YouTube, sorry, and he was breaking down like Kobe's death by the numbers.
That's
Basically,
crazy.
actually, can I grab this book real quick?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So we actually have his book that I just remembered. So he had a book that came out last year called
Okay.
Number Games. It's called Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus.
Oh
And it
shit.
breaks down the whole span of time from 9/11 to coronavirus, and it
Hmm.
explains how it's all connected by a numerical rituals.
Oh
And like
shit.
literally it's all like it's on a 19-year cycle, and like the number 19 like really connects it, like, and like it. Oh, I can like go to the chapter, but basically he's got chapters on like
That's
George
fucking
Floyd, Kobe
crazy.
Bryant, like all this stuff is literally just broken down by numbers. But literally, okay, I can break down Gematria pretty simple.
Okay, because
um
when I came across your page and I saw that shit and I was like, that shit, I want to go down the rabbit hole. Please continue.
yeah, dude, it's the one rabbit hole that I've found that has really stumped me. Like normally with most like quote unquote rabbit holes, you can find the end. There's always like
The end of the
an
door.
end of like a wall. There's always like a
Yeah.
wall where you're like, shit, like, okay, I feel like I'm really good at like finding and like just finding patterns. So like I always like was like, okay, I don't know, like Jeffrey Epstein or something like that, like where it was like a distraction, where like
Yeah.
at the time that stuff was taking my energy and my attention, because I was like, oh, I want to know who Jeffrey Epstein is. I want to know everything
Hmm.
about him. So I'd find myself going down these super deep rabbit holes and spending all my energy and hours going down these pointless distractions that were like taking all
Yeah.
my energy, right? And basically what Gematria has shown me now is that like I can look at a story, I can look at a headline,
Mhm.
literally just type in the headline they give me into the calculator and know from the numbers that it gives me, like if this story is bullshit or not, and if I have to give it my energy. And
That's
that's
crazy.
how I've used it. That's how I use it as a tool
Okay.
for me. Like so basically, Gematria is it. Um, English gematria. The study of gematria comes from it's an old like Hebrew study. It's Kabbalah basically, which is like an old Jewish mysticism.
Okay.
But basically, it's the study of coding letters and numbers. So like it started with the Hebrew alphabet, which was like a 22 letter alphabet. I don't know each letter, but there was a 22 letter Hebrew alphabet. But it was coded. So like the Bible, I
Okay.
don't know. So the Bible's coded. I don't know if you know this, but it's like number coded. So like if you can read the Bible for what it is, and you can read the book, but you can read it numerically. You could like go, okay, every 46th word, every 46th letter can like create like a sentence, and like you can like do it like so many different ways. Like
That's crazy.
there's like messages hidden, and like okay, different. So like I, I think Jesus Christ equals like 93 or something like that. I actually I have the fucking calculator right here. I can just type it in.
That's crazy.
So like Jesus Christ is 74. So like the number 74 pops up, and like bro, everything, like everything in like Freemasonry, they use like
Wait, so
74, 47, like all that stuff.
is this like a is it like what's the purpose of it?
Okay, so basically the old Jewish mysticism, in these old books, it's basically said like God created the universe with a system of numbers and letters.
Okay.
Basically numbers carry energy, and they know this ancient knowledge that basically everything is energy.
Right.
Everything's energy, right?
Right.
Numbers carry energy,
Right.
because they say that the book says that God created the universe with letters and numbers. So
Right.
basically, they know that numbers carry energy, and they now create, now there's an alphabet. They were given this Hebrew alphabet. So they were
That's
given, now
crazy.
who gave them this alphabet? It
Right.
could be a interdimensional being, which I believe it was.
I
I believe
believe,
it
yeah,
could,
I believe it was
yeah,
too.
it could be just like, I think it was Ra. I can go there. We'll go there maybe if you want.
Hell yeah, hell yeah,
Yes,
hell
I'm
yeah, hell
down.
yeah.
They were basically given this alphabet, and they were given a 22 letter Hebrew alphabet, and they, ever since then, okay, so the story is, I'm just going to go with what I know so far.
Mm-hmm.
um there's this group of, I guess you can say, exiled Jews,
Bro.
who essentially formed and called themselves the Jesuits. The Jesuits, they're like, um they basically God, it's so deep, dude. It's so, like, it's so hard for me to even grasp my head around it sometimes. I don't know the full story. I'm trying to remember it, like, off the top of my head. I really should have, like,
It's
studied this
good.
before I did this. But basically, this group hoarded all, so I guess where I could start, sorry, I'm trying to, like,
It's good.
so, the Roman Empire,
Right.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the history books will tell us that the Roman Empire fell, right?
Right.
Now, what do we see when we look to Italy? We see the Vatican. We see
Mm-hmm.
this pristine, like, Vatican City. That's just,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we're just told that, oh, the Pope, it's just the Pope. The Pope just lives there. It's just this old guy who just happens to have this like whole city that's just
Right.
like in gold, that we just supposed to be like, okay. But okay, I could tell you the Roman Empire never fell. Basically, they just rebranded. So, like, Rome, the Roman Empire basically, like, was like, throughout, like, time, it became like the what's it called? Like, the Templars. What did they do? The freaking uh man, I'm trying to remember what it was called.
Okay.
But they were just taking all of, like, the knowledge of the world. They were just taking over the world, the Roman Empire. And when they were doing this, they were taking all the world's, like, knowledge, right? They were just,
That's
like,
crazy. Yeah.
taking all this stuff and just hoarding it. And out of that came, groups that want to play God. Like,
Yeah.
they come across knowledge that's like, the ego just tells them they want to play, they want to,
That's
like,
so
rule over people, right?
crazy. Yeah.
So basically, out of that Roman Empire came this group that called themselves the Jesuits, and they just basically, the Jesuit order. Um, um, they basically run themselves now currently out of Rome, the Vatican, and, like, they're well known. You can look up the Jesuit order. Just, you see the IHS. I don't know if you've seen that, like, IHS with, like, the sun
Yeah.
rays around it. And that's like, that's the Pope. So this Pope that we have currently is the first Jesuit Pope.
That's crazy.
And all of this stuff, like coronavirus, is happening, like, with, like, rituals to this Pope. Like, it's wild. And I came across this, like, when I found, like, Zach Hubbard.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, so, like, when coronavirus happened, I know I'm hopping around, sorry. So basically, like, when coronavirus happened, I came across this event that happened before the pandemic that was called Event 201.
Yeah,
You hear about that?
I read about that.
Okay, the number, why 201?
That's
Event
true.
201.
I didn't
Why
think about that.
201? Now, if you go, do you have? You can type on your computer, right?
Yeah.
Go to, type this in, gematrinator.com, GEMATRINATOR. And I'm just gonna, like, bring up, like, the calculator for you. I kind of want you to type it in so you can kind of see for
Okay.
yourself. Um,
Am I typing in 201?
yeah, so type in the Jesuit order.
Oh shoot.
The JESUITORDER.
Wait, spell Jesuit one more time.
JESUIT
UIGJESUIT.
order.
Or
And you see that 201 that pops up?
Yeah. Oh shoot.
Okay, so basically, think of that as like their stamp, like they're like think of them as like if they were criminals and their like calling card was like 201. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think of that as like a stamp. So like, you notice how when you type in that those words, it gave you
Mhm.
those numbers, right?
Right.
So the English language, like, so how does the whole world just uses English now, right? And we've
Right.
just kind of accepted it, and we don't even like ask questions why.
Hmm.
Now these Jesuits, apparently that they're the ones who are responsible for the Gregorian calendar. They're responsible for the English language being like the language that we use like globally. So you know how the United States, we have Washington D.C.
Right.
Washington, what's the D.C. District of Columbia? Uh, like that's then Washington D.C. used to be called Rome on the Potomac.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
and it's literally like it's not Washington D.C. Like isn't a part of like our country. It's like a separate entity. It's like a city
Oh
state.
shit.
So we're over here thinking Washington D.C. is like just a part of our country, right? No, it's being
Right.
ran. Our country is being ran like remotely from Rome. It's
That's
essentially like
crazy.
the Roman Empire is like running our country,
That's
and
crazy.
our country is being used as like a tool. Notice how we're always safe. Why are we always safe? No matter what happens, no matter how much shit we do, we're always
Mhm.
just perfectly safe. Why is that?
Damn.
Like
That's so
why
true.
why are we just not ever affected? No war ever touches us. Why is that? We're the world police. Why is that? Now
That's
these like
true.
these like puppet master people, they're essentially just using the the US as like a this like entity that just like goes and does their bidding. Like, they
Yo, I
they
was
start they start these wars, and they pit these they own both factions. They already own
right.
both factions, and they pit them against each other. And because they have an overarching agenda they're trying to accomplish, they just want to own it all. So if they can fake a war and just make the war happen, and then like have an agenda that they're
Yeah.
already setting up in the meantime. They already have the end goal. So
Right.
they set up the wars. They already, like World War II, for example.
Yeah.
We're just told in our history books that it's just like you know Poland got invaded, so the whole world went to war. Like, right?
Hmm.
That's what we're told. We're just told, okay, Poland got invaded, so the whole world decided let's just have at it, right?
Right.
Like, so um really what they did is um they basically just pitted the world against itself, because they wanted to have an outcome of, the United States being powerful coming out of that. They
That's
wanted the United
nuts.
States to be the world power that came out of that. So,
That's nuts.
like, have you even seen the number 56
Mm,
on any of my tweets? Have you came across the number 56 at all?
I will after this episode.
So
Yes.
so go back to the calculator real quick.
Okay.
Type in sorry, we're doing a quick gematria lesson here. This is fun. um so type in coronavirus.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay.
So that 56 is another one of their brandings that they've been using this whole year. Now type in Jesuit order, just Jesuit order. Oh no, sorry, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Wait, 56. What's the other? I have a whole fucking list of them on my Twitter. It's hilarious.
Because that's
That's
45.
54. I'm sorry.
I mean
But
54. Yeah.
so basically, our language, English was given to us by the Jesuits. They made it the standard language. Now we use English, this 26 letter alphabet, right?
Right.
And so on that calculator, there's like four ciphers. You see the four ciphers, how it says English ordinal, full reduction, reverse ordinal, and reverse full reduction. Do you see those four?
Yeah.
Basically, what those four ciphers are is um, English ordinal is just um, the alphabet from A to Z. So A is 1,
Okay.
B is 2, C is 3.
Hmm.
That's English ordinal. So through Z. So if you type, so anytime you type in any word, if you type in your name, Richard, you're gonna come up with the number 61. You know,
Okay.
and that just means that, like, from the letters A through Z, you adds up to 61.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so if you see a news article and they give you like quotations, like they give you, like you always see like a news article and they'll give you like a certain like sentence, a part of the sentence in quotes.
Yeah.
Literally all I do every day when I wake up and I see something trending is I go to like that any news article I see that's like trending, it's popular, it's like the one that they're throwing in our face. I take that. They always give it to us. They have to give us what they're doing, because it's, karmic laws. Like literally they have to
That's
show us, they have to show
crazy.
us what they're doing. We have to submit our energy. We can't just they can't just rule us.
Right.
We have to give them, we have to literally like sign
Give them
away, like
consent.
we're all like, this whole pandemic could end tomorrow if we just turn off the TV and just went
Yeah,
outside.
true.
So literally they give us all this stuff in our face. So half the time the quotations is like a coded message, and they just give us like their little stamp.
Wait,
So a lot of the time,
so when they give the coded message, it's not between them. Just to avoid karmic laws, that they have to tell us what they're doing, but it's
yeah,
just in that language is that they're doing
yeah.
it in. That's
Well,
fucking crazy.
so the thing is like so numbers carry energy, right?
Right.
So this is gonna get really complex for a second. I don't know if
I'm
so
following.
time
So let's go down the rabbit hole.
so time is it, so we experience time as linear,
Right.
but time is just now. There isn't actually time, it's just now.
Right.
So they know this, and they understand that numbers carry energy. So throughout our linear time, they
Mhm.
are coding these events to the same numbers, and they're bringing up the same energetic,
Oh, that's crazy.
they're bringing up the same energy with all these major events. So what do we call we're in trouble? Every time someone's in trouble, what number do you call?
911.
September 11th, what day was that? Like
Oh
911, like, okay, like
shit.
all of this stuff, like is like, and so like the number 911 is coded literally everywhere. Like you can go in. So this is a trip. I found this one blew my mind. One of the ciphers in Gematria, one of the Kabbalah ciphers. So this means from the Bible. If you
Mm-hmm.
take our Father, the Our Father prayer, Our Father
Mm-hmm.
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy will be, that whole thing, and type it in the calculator, it equals 911. Like it equals 119 in one of the Kabbalah ciphers. And like that shit blew my mind. I was
Whoa.
like, I don't know what that means. Like I couldn't tell you what that means, but those are the kinds of like synchronicities that I find with Gematria that just blow my mind, that they don't even, I don't even know where to go with that. Like where do I even go off with that? I'm just like,
Right.
okay. I'm just like, cool. But like
What the
that still
fuck?
blows my mind. So essentially they use these energetic, like these really like strong energetic numbers, and they're harvesting our energy.
Yeah.
They're literally basically harvesting our energy, and with these prominent numbers. So like all these major events. So do you watch basketball at all?
Hell yeah.
So Chris Paul, he just got sick,
I
right?
saw that.
Did you see my tweet? Okay,
Yeah.
so literally Chris Paul is born on 5/6. He's born on May 6th. That's a 56 right there.
Mm-hmm.
Now he just got coronavirus. That's a 56. And then it happened 5 weeks and 6 days after his birthday.
Oh
Like
shit.
they numerically do these like rituals to harvest these same numbers, to like I don't
So what's the
it's
purpose of it? That's this. So what's the purpose of it? With I guess with this Chris Paul situation.
so they understand that people are distracted by sports, right?
Right.
They're literally, their agendas are happening in the background while our whole country is literally giving a shit about this basketball game that
Mm-hmm.
really doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it could be like, yeah, they love basketball and they're just passionate about it. But at the same time, there's stuff going on in the real world, or whatever you want to call the real world, and your
Yeah.
reality, that stuff that affect you, like that affect your family, that affect your children, that affect your children's future children, that is
Yeah.
happening. That warrants a bit more of your attention than the basketball game. That I could bet you is more important than if Chris Paul got injured or if he's sick. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like what I'm trying to say is like that stuff, like they're all distractions. It's kind of like the Roman circus. Like, okay, whenever the people get angry, what do? You give them a circus. You distract them. You know what I mean?
That's
So like,
crazy.
so all this stuff is harvesting your energy. So within just that Chris Paul story, you had a 56 that connected you to coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
He's born on 5/6. Like, so that tells me how far before, how was his life predetermined?
Yeah,
Was
that's
he,
where.
you know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at. So they own these people? Like, okay, the NBA is a crazy. Okay, one of these numbers that pops up everywhere that you'll probably see once I tell you about it is the
Mm-hmm.
number 113.
Okay.
That's the number of deception. That's the number of dishonesty.
Okay.
All of these words in Gematria equal 113, like disinfo, like perjury, like all these words that okay, this is a good lesson right here. A little quick Gematria lesson.
Oh yeah, heard.
Words carry a vibration. The
Right.
words themselves carry a vibration. So the words, like, they they're they've been coded
Mm-hmm.
to be like, see, I don't know who coded it, if it's a supercomputer that they have access to, or if it's like some AI. I don't know if it's like, I don't know who's coding this stuff,
Yeah.
but this stuff is so intricately coded, like you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
on our spectrum of time, like we're over here in this like 3D 3D matrix experiencing time, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
stuck experiencing time, but in this time we're experiencing, all this stuff has been like coded and planned, it seems like. You know what I mean?
That's yeah. I got people that. Yeah.
And they've had access to this knowledge for some time. Like, I don't know how much like digging on like real history you've done, but you come
Mm-hmm.
across like mud floods, you come across like
Oh
the Great
shit.
Flood.
Mhm.
You know, like in the Bible you have Noah's Ark. What was it? The Great Flood.
Right.
And like that's how I believe that like our societies get like reset, you know.
Oh,
Basically there's great floods that happen every, so like
that
I mean,
reset.
if we're being,
Oh shit.
and
Okay.
okay, the Great Reset, that's what we're going through right now, is the Great Reset. This is what they're calling it, um is the Great Reset right now. And because they're like,
That's
there's
crazy.
let me see, what is it again, I'm trying to the Great Reset's a 74. But anyway, basically, yeah, they're using these like events to just harvest our energy. But it's interesting because like I go down these rabbit holes and I say that I run into these walls, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like Gematria, like it, it's an interesting little community because like these these people I'm running across every day, they're like blowing my mind. But like it seems like a lot of these people that I'm coming across, it doesn't seem like they're doing like the internal work. I don't know how
Yeah.
to. So some of them come across as really egoic and
Yeah.
really like, I know what the truth is. And it may sound like I may come across like that sometimes, but like, um, I really I really admit when like I have no idea what the heck. Like
Yeah.
I can point out a synchronicity and be like, dude, look, this equals that. But like, and look at this also equals that. But like, I don't
Mhm.
know what it means, but I can just point out the pattern of like, dude, all these events are connected, and they also, a different layer that connects them is the numbers. Like we can agree that like George Floyd.
Yeah.
Um, so go to the calculator again. Um, George Floyd's full name is George Perry Floyd. I don't know if you know that, but type in George George, George, George. Perry, Perry, Floyd, Floyd, and there's a 201 there.
Oh shit. Damn.
You know what I mean? So like I even if I didn't know what the fuck that meant, I can be like, what the fuck? In the same year that Event 201 happened, that the coronavirus pandemic happened, that has all this coding with the Jesuits and all these people that apparently are like had the shit planned, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then on the timeline, once remember, so like the pandemic happens, right?
Right.
People were afraid of the virus,
Right.
and then the fear kind of subsided, right? You kind of
Mm-hmm.
noticed it subsided, but then what happened?
Another.
Another major event happened.
Mm-hmm.
uh this guy George Floyd, like he was like, you know, we could
That's
agree we
crazy.
could agree police brutality is horrific, like no one wants
Mm-hmm.
that, right? But for some reason this one gentleman who was killed, right, gets
Right.
all the media attention and just gets the whole spotlight on, you know what I mean? They
Yeah.
get the treatment. He got the golden carpet. He got the new, like, he dies and then they have his funeral on TV. They have they you know what I mean?
That
Like
fear
they don't
harvesting.
know this. They're
Yeah.
harvesting your energy, and like, you know what I mean? So this event happened, and then I'm over here like, I was barely finding Gematria then. So I was, when the George Floyd thing happened, I was still like very new to it. So like I barely even knew. I didn't know George Perry Floyd was 201 at that time. So
Mm-hmm.
I was still like, I was making pure connections. I was just going, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. People stopped caring about the fucking virus, and then this dude died,
Yeah.
and then all the attention went to that.
Yeah.
And then we're over here being told trust the science, right?
Right.
Trust the science.
I kind of want to type that into you.
Type it in. Type it in.
189.
Now type in. Now press return. Press enter. Did that make that pop up on the bottom for you? Like that whole four ciphers? Did it pop up on the bottom?
Uh,
Did it make it pop up there? Like when you pressed
yeah, at
enter?
the bottom. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Uh, wait. I actually just tweeted this. Let me go back to my thing real quick. It's, I just want to like blow your mind for a second, dude. You literally said trust the science, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. I just retweeted this shit. Let me go back for it.
This is crazy. Guys, this is a
um,
gematria lesson on this episode. Grab a
dude,
drink, grab a blunt or something.
can I'm about to hit my shit again. Where did I think it was trust science and like disinfo were like a match.
So it's just so is this how they communicate? Okay, not only tell it to us so that we consent to it, which is fucking crazy. So they're
Mhm.
literally telling us in a different language, but that's
Yeah.
fucking nuts.
Yeah. So like if you just follow along with the story, you're giving your consent essentially, you know what I mean? So like if you're giving your
And
energy, I
then when you
guess,
giving your emotion to it, that's what charges it. Holy
dude. And
shit.
what they're okay, I'm gonna give you another, this is completely not Gematria related, but another rabbit hole that I've found that's blown my mind.
Let's go.
Have you heard of the large moon theory?
No.
That we don't that our planet, okay, there's this whole debate whether we're on a
Yeah.
flat surface or whether we're on a round earth or whether we're on a plane or whether we're
Yeah.
on in a dome, whatever. But there's this theory that I found called larger earth, and essentially what we see in the sky as the moon is a
Mm-hmm.
reflection of the larger earth on a plasma belt, and we're essentially this guy breaks down in this YouTube series that, I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying that I watched this. I'm just saying that I watched this on YouTube.
That's
This
crazy.
guy breaks down on his episodes for a couple for like 2 years now
Mm-hmm.
that we live on a larger planet that's
Okay.
essentially the moon. It's like it's essentially what we see as the moon is our planet, and
Okay.
that's why we only see the one face, because it's a reflection on this plasma belt. He explains it in the videos, and okay, even if I don't understand it, it resonated. You know what I mean? When something
So
kind of like
the moon is reflecting.
to us, and we're like seeing it on like this plasma belt that that and okay, to get this, and he's saying that we live on this crater
Mm-hmm.
on this larger Earth, right? And
Okay.
our crater, and like he breaks down that like we're being shown it in plain sight by
Wait, do you think that will be
like
like,
crater
like the little
Earth.
craters, like the dome? Would
Yeah,
that be
crater Earth, whatever you want to call it. He calls it crater
That's
Earth theory.
crazy.
So basically, imagine everything we know is in this crater, right? This circular shape. Now, okay, this is going to connect us to Disneyland. This is a weird connection, but you know how like Disneyland, when you go to, have you been to Disneyland before?
No.
So when you go to Disneyland and when you go to a theme park, it gives you a map
Right.
of the theme park, right? And it tells
Right.
you how to get around the map, and it gives you a top over the top view of the park, and it gives you a map, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this dude makes connections by observing the crater, that he observes a specific crater on the moon, and he's making connections through his series and saying that this is our crater. This is
Right.
where we live at. This is where we're at. And he's saying that on the Walt Disney. So Walt Disney is a pretty evil dude. We can just agree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Uh,
Yeah.
um, he's connected to the Jesuits. If you type in Walt Disney, I believe it's two. I think it's 201. What's Walt Disney? I know he's connected to the Jesuit order, all that stuff, but it's like Walt something Disney. He's got a middle name.
That's crazy.
Um. Anyway, on that map of Disney World is a view. It shows the park, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's reviewing this crater, and he shows you like what is an overlay of the Disneyland map and this crater, and every feature lines up like like the features on the Disney map. Like it'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, this is the middle of the park, this circle.
Right.
Here's like this one ride, it's like right here. Here's this piece right here, and then he like
Oh
overlays the
shit.
map over this crater on the moon, and it like fits like a puzzle piece, like
Oh
perfectly.
shit.
And I'm like, holy shit. And he's basically describing that the people who know this knowledge are playing like are basically like trying to kind of uh I don't if they're paying homages to these gods, but they know when like the poles flip on
Mm-hmm.
this planet apparently, and like you know the Merkaba, like
Yeah.
the Star of David,
Mm-hmm.
and basically what that represents is like the polar energy, like of like positive and like negative, of like up and down. You see the
Mm-hmm.
triangles like that and the triangles
Mm-hmm.
like that. If
Mm-hmm.
you overlay it, it's like it makes that Star of David shape, that like
Yeah.
perfect like that Merkaba. But he's saying is like that, like they know when that stuff like flips, and they know when the poles flip, and basically all these rituals to the sun and moon that we see and that are happening, that we're experiencing, are like rituals to these like pole shifts, and like these like gods. I don't know who. I gotta show you this channel.
Wait, so wait. Let me make sure
Okay.
I'm understanding it. So
Yeah.
every time an event happens, that's when, like you said, the polarity with
Yeah.
everything shifts. But and then,
Yeah.
so if they're worshiping a god, that fear that they're getting from us is sacrificed to the god.
Yeah. I either they're trying to please my theory. I know I'm trying to connect to myself. I'm trying to see what resonates with me. So like
Mm-hmm.
it if someone had this knowledge and they were like um if this entity that they're serving, like say the people that I'm saying who are um who all these numbers are pointing to,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not even saying it is, but all this stuff is pointing to the Jesuit order, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's say that they're at least the closest to the top we can see of the pyramid.
Right.
Let's just say that they're in contact with these entities, you know what I mean? Let's
Yeah.
say that they're being told, hey, if you want to be on top and you want to survive this, do what I tell you, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, like imagine that they're just trying to like control, like every time there's a cataclysmic event, because okay, every time there's a shift, what happens? There's like floods, all this crazy stuff
Right.
happens, and it throws the whole place in a
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And like that's when like these floods happen, and that's like the theory is that like
That's
uh,
fucking crazy.
um I gotta show you. I'll link you to the channel after this. I can't even
Gratitude.
pronounce his channel name because it's like some other language. It's like middle. It's like from like some Serbian. Like he's like from like over there in like Russia, that
Okay.
area or somewhere over there. But he his stuff blows my mind. But I'm kind of trying to piece what I'm learning and like
Yeah.
trying to piece different things together. You know what I mean? Because it's all blowing my mind in so many different
That's
ways.
crazy. So what's the so I guess with basketball, is that playing like the results and shit?
Oh, dude. Okay, so you know
I
when
feel
Kobe
like I feel
died?
like this go ruin my whole basketball experience, but I gotta know. I fucking gotta know.
So you know when Kobe died, right?
Right.
Obviously, who won right after?
LeBron, right?
The
Lakers win.
Lakers. So who also won that year in sports?
Was it the Dodgers?
LA
Right. Yeah.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
Bro, what are the odds of that, right?
Right. Right.
Now get this. Remember, you know Chadwick Boseman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chadwick Boseman is number 42, right? He played Jackie Robinson in the number 42.
Mm-hmm.
Now, now I don't know if you know this, but if you watch baseball, but the Dodgers won they won the World Series of a score of a total wins of 4-2 because the series is a 7-game series, the World
Okay.
Series. They won 4 games to 2. They won that World Series 4-2 the year that Chadwick Boseman died. He died at the age of 42. They changed the numbers of his age. If he was actually was 42, but they changed his. If you look it up, like you can find it where he says that he was 42 when he died.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason on like Wikipedia, they changed his age to say he's 43 when he died. But besides the fact, he played Jackie Robinson, 42.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers won 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Robinson was in a tank. Jackie Robinson, Chadwick Boseman also played the Black Panther, right?
Right.
Jackie Robinson was in a tank battalion in World War II called the Black Panthers.
Oh shit.
Piece that together for a second. World War II, Jackie Robinson, this player in baseball,
Mm-hmm.
was a fighter, was in this war. He was apparently he was in a tank battalion. You could look this up. He was in a tank battalion called the Black Panthers. Later on in the timeline, this actor comes along, Chadwick Boseman, who they've somehow selected to be the Black Panther,
That's crazy.
dies. The Dodgers win the series 4-2. Like, you know what I mean? How could you
Mm-hmm.
not say that this stuff is scripted? Like, and then okay, um, Kobe dies.
Right.
The the Lakers win on Father Daughter Day. They went
Oh
on.
shit, I didn't know that.
If you look up that day on the calendar, that
Mm-hmm.
day was Father Daughter Day, and a lot of this stuff, these rituals, there's a lot of mockery. Now, there's a lot of things where it's like they're kind of mocking us in our face with this kind of stuff, you know, and like LeBron passed Kobe the night after he died on points scored at 33,000 points. He surpassed his points in like
Mm-hmm.
totals, you know, it
Yeah.
was 33,000 points. Now, another little gematria thing with Kobe, but if you go to that calculator again,
Mm-hmm.
um, type in Kobe, um, Kobe Bean Bryant, because his middle name is Bean.
Um,
You see the 81? Does it pop up the 81?
yeah.
Do you know what Kobe's highest scoring game was?
Oh shit. 81. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, now get rid of the Bean. Just type in Kobe Bryant. You get the 113.
Right.
Remember
Oh
that so
shit.
that 113 was like the number of like dishonesty, disinfo. Like
Yeah.
now I don't know if that's saying he's just like a fake. I don't know what that's saying, but like the NBA is called the National
Basketball.
Basketball Association, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Or no? Right?
Yeah,
National.
NBA National Basketball. So yeah.
Am I spelling association right? Oh shit.
ASSOCIATION.
Yeah. I swear I thought it was 113 before. What was the NBA? Trying to remember. It was like national. Ah, that's funny. Um, my bad. Anyway, shit. I was trying to remember what NBA equal. I swear it was NBA was 113. But anyway, Kobe Bryant was 113. That shit blew my mind when it was like, okay, Kobe Bryant 113. That same number, disinfo. I'm gonna like link you that like more
Hell yeah,
things that equal
please.
113. But like I mean, I don't know if like
I'm gonna
you like
cop that book.
yeah, dude. It's like $20 on Amazon too.
Hell yeah, I definitely cop that. Talk to us about the podcast, bro. I know you was talking to
Oh
me.
yeah, bro. So basically, I mean, I've rambled about so many different topics just right now, like to eat like so much to where like I feel like I could only get it out when I have like an outlet on someone else's because like
Mm.
the second I feel like I have to sit down by myself, I'm like, where do I start? Like,
Have people on. Like, did you have people on to have that conversation?
true. But like even like okay, the way the mind works, we're gonna go back to like programming and
Yeah.
fear-based programming and like I'm breaking out of my old programming still. We're all breaking, we're growing, we're all growing.
Mm-hmm.
And like the one thing that's always haunted me is like the fear of like starting something and like obviously failing. Everyone experiences that, like literally everyone, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure. Like you just want to start something but you're afraid of starting
Yeah.
it, but like to the point where I think it's crippling for me. Like it's always haunted me. And
Mm-hmm.
like um I'm slowly like breaking out of that. I've like things in my life like, oh shit, let me go get my truck. We're back,
No, you good, bro. You good.
dude. The whole time. Okay, I don't know if you want to be like when you're editing, be like action. No, I'm kidding. But that whole time, that whole previous ramble was
Mhm.
half a bowl.
Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, I did smoke before, but like my tolerance is so high to where like you get that high and then you kind of like
You
it
hit
goes
you.
away,
You got to get it
and
back
then you
up
got to
there.
get back up. But like that's with anything. When you talk about weed, you sound like a freaking crackhead. But like, dude, it's from
It's
the earth. Like, bro,
Come on
it's
now.
medicine. It's being real.
It's for you, man.
Um,
It's
yeah, and all it does, okay, I believe that we're receivers, and
Yep.
this body that we're like a radio, dude. Our
Yep.
consciousness is using this body as like a receiver, and we don't have thoughts. We think our ego tells us that we have thoughts that
Mhm.
I'm gonna have this thought right now.
Yeah.
But what does meditation show you? It tells you that you don't have a choice. These thoughts
Nope.
get thrown at you and you're like, I don't want this. So meditation teaches you to just observe them coming and you just let it pass.
hmm
Now that shows you that you're a receiver. You're like a radio. You're picking up things.
Yep.
Now you're picking up these thoughts that you think you're labeling as yours. Your ego goes, oh, that one's mine.
Yep.
That thought's mine. That one's mine. And the ego is like this like shoulder demon that's like
Shorter than
trying to claim everything. You know what I mean? Ah, shit,
Yeah.
unplugged. And all ego is, oh shit. I'm just trying to like jimmy it. It's like not plugged in. We're good. So
Perfect.
like all
No, you
so like
good.
all the ego is trying to do is just claim um responsibility for things. That's all
Right.
it is. The ego is the act of attachment, like
Mm-hmm.
attaching to things. And it's like it's basically like a software that our body has that is like that we use on our evolution to survive. It was a survival tool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this shit. Before I go on this rant, let me hit this.
Hit the ball, guys. Hit whatever you got. Fucking love bones.
Right, Scooby Doo. Okay, so like we're picking up these thoughts, right? We're receiving these thoughts. Now, the ego is claiming the thought, right? It's saying that I am this person. I am Philip. This is my thought. I'm having the thought that I am sad. So therefore I am sad. Wow, today sucks because I'm sad. The whole day sucks. And the ego is like, yes, we have him. He's ours. Cause you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so the ego just wants you to just survive. It doesn't want you to break out and express yourself and realize that you don't need it. Basically, it was a survival tool. So this is a great segue to another thing I want to talk about, which is
Hell
the law of one.
Hell yeah, let's talk about that.
So I came across this in the more spiritual. Okay, we're gonna segue from the conspiracy side and the more tinfoily stuff, I guess, and let's go to more just pure consciousness,
Of course,
pure just being. And I see your Twitter name is just I am. That's just pure being.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just gonna assume that you adopt the notion that we're all one, that we're all one consciousness, right? Now there's this book, a channeled work. And when I say channeled work, do you know
channel?
So like this group, they were trying to channel these beings, interdimensional, whatever. They were coming in contact with something, some entity that called itself Ra, and their name was Carla Ruckert. She was the channeler. She was the one who was laying down and like in the state, and they had to do this, like they had to basically do like this ritual. It sounds very like voodoo magic-y, but like they had to do a specific ritual to get her to channel this. And she channeled this entity Ra, and basically they had these sessions where they recorded them and then they transcribed them after. And they came in contact with this entity named Ra, and they had this whole transcription, and this entity Ra was breaking down what he's delivering, called the law of one. And basically Ra was saying that throughout time he came and given this knowledge in previous times. He said that, like, and since then the message has been what's the word he says? The message has been distorted. So now he's channeling through Carla at this time, which was the 1980s when they channeled this, saying that he's coming to this time because the message was distorted. So they basically transcribed this whole message from Ra, and it's now known as the Law of One material. And and basically in the Law of One, it breaks down what our consciousness is doing here. And basically it's an evolutionary cycle. It's like a spectrum, and Ra describes what are called the densities of consciousness. So imagine like a spectrum. Now I'm gonna try to paint a picture in your mind here, but so imagine the first density of consciousness being just the elements. Now imagine the planet before there was any life. It was just those pure elements just smashing together, right? It was just like water, fire, all that stuff. It just, well, fire, I guess it wasn't just fire roaming around, but water, earth, just doing that like push and pull. And then that would be, the rocks. Just, you could say, would you agree that a rock has a consciousness? It's got 100%. A vibratory state. It's got a 100%. Vibratory state. It's very slow, but it's got a vibratory state. It's just a rock. It's just and whether you believe that there's there's no solid matter, it's all vibration. It's just like, it's a projection. It's like a hologram, whatever you want to think. But in this 3D. Now, what is that? 3D, three dimension,
Right.
right? Now, 3D is also the third density. So basically, okay, I'm gonna take a step back. The first density is um um just those elements, right? Matching
Right.
together. And there is a consciousness, but it's not self-aware yet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the second density of consciousness is when the life starts to have this plant life. There's no self-awareness or consciousness yet, but there's plants that are obviously it's alive. Plants
Right.
are living and they're breathing and they do things. Certain plants even react to stimulus. Like those what are they called? Fly, the ones that catch flies, Venus flytraps.
Yeah. Venus. Yeah.
Now, that's a conscious being there that's
That's
reacting
still
to
crazy
outside
though.
stimulus. It's still and it's eating, right? It's
Yeah.
but um so that's the second density of consciousness is like plant life, is animal life. You know how like animals, like a flock of birds, they're all like flowing together, right? They're all like
Mm-hmm.
flying in one pack. That's they're not self-aware, but they're conscious and they're working as like a one unit, right?
Yeah.
But there's no self-awareness yet. So
Right.
consciousness is coming alive, but it's not self-aware yet. So the game of consciousness, the evolutionary game of consciousness is coming alive, but it's not quite self-aware yet. And
Right.
then now we what we're experiencing through these bodies is the third density of consciousness. This is now self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Now we are incarnating in this third dimensional realm where on a vibratory state we're in the third density. We're solid now, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're in the third density we're self-aware. Now we have a self-awareness, we have an
Right.
I. You say like I'm hungry, I'm this, I like.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at an animal, whether we know it or not, like a dog, you could know the dog doesn't really like um can say like I, or he's talking to you, you know what I
Right.
mean? Or like a fish. Obviously a fish is just fishing. A fish is
Mm-hmm.
just swimming along, just where's food. All it knows is survival, right?
Right.
So remember I was talking about ego and
Yeah.
how ego was keeping us survive, so it's
Mm-hmm.
keeping us alive. It was a survival tool. Now, in our third density of consciousness that we're experiencing through this body, um, we are growing out of the second density, that survival mode. So now
Mm-hmm.
we're self-aware. Now we're not just focusing on survival. Now we have these dreams and aspirations and goals and creation, and we're, you know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
we're we're creating. We're actively creating. We're a first person creator in our reality,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the third density of consciousness. That's what we're experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we're in our shift to fourth density, which
Mm-hmm.
is unity consciousness. We're starting to realize that we're all one.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're on our soul's journey. We're a fractal of the this is kind of deep here, but
Mm-hmm.
the source consciousness. Imagine
Yep.
God, what you want to call it, source, just the most high, whatever you want to call
Mm-hmm.
we're a fractal of that. We're an infinite piece of it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we are that. We're all the same. We're experiencing that through this body, and we're like, uh we're that infinite little piece of it, but we're experiencing it through this body, and on our soul's evolutionary journey. We're on that third density. We're in that physical
Yeah.
realm. Now in this third density we have polarity.
Mm-hmm.
Now we come here to choose whether Ra in that law of one channeling says that third density is used for our souls to choose whether we're service to self or service to others.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole game here, third density. That's what Ra says. He lays it out and says that you're here to um, all you're doing here is to just choose your path, literally.
Right.
And on your soul's journey, you're eventually going to leave this physical realm and go to the your next step is the light body, which is
Mm-hmm.
like it's just there's no more physical matter anymore. We're going to start whether we like it or whether we know it or not, we're going to eventually be something higher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna ascend past that,
Yeah.
and we become that unity consciousness. So Ra says that in that channeling, he says that the whole planet will eventually become a one whole unity consciousness, and we're eventually going to realize that we're all one, and we're all eventually going to on our path, kind of become one. Like, it's called a social memory complex.
Okay. So
Now,
it's okay.
so what we are as a body is a mind, body, spirit complex.
Right.
We have a mind, we have a body, and we're a spirit that's using this mind body to, experience that third the 3D reality that we're experiencing.
Right.
So so in that 3D reality, we're here to choose our path. Now, when we're born, we think we're when we're little kids, we have no idea what the heck this game is. We're just here. We're just like, where do we go? What do we do? We're going to school. Okay, all right, we're going to
Right.
school. But then eventually, you start to question things, and maybe you've noticed some people aren't questioning things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you see a world full of people still asleep. They're all on the same path. They're just on a different level on their path. They're not quite, you have friends waking up every day, I'm sure. Or
Yeah.
you're meeting people waking up every day.
Yeah.
Their soul is evolving. They're becoming, imagine them like a flower blooming. And they're
Mm-hmm.
slow. We're all getting there.
That's so beautiful, man. And
You know what I mean?
you're seeing it. You're seeing it happening right now. I had a homie. Uh, like we were always we were always had the same interest, but he's like took a giant leap in just in consciousness, like this whole 2020 shit.
Same. My roommates, like, they live here. I've lived here for like 2 years. One of them, he, from the get-go of the whole pandemic thing, I was calling it out. He was like, "That's bullshit, dude. Like, do you believe that stuff?" Literally, like, he was like calling me out, and I was like, "Bro, like just hear me out." Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was like
Yeah.
calling, and then like things would happen, and I'd be like, "Dude, check the numbers on this. That thing was a straight ritual." Like, I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Bro, like this, like don't give her your energy." I'd be like, "Don't freak out." Like, you know what I mean? And like
Right.
things would happen, and I would start to point it out, more and more and more and more, and he start to be like, all right. And then when I come home, he'd be like, so and so died, and he's like, what happened? What are the numbers on that? You know what I mean? Or like he starts
Yeah.
like he even starts to like ask me things, and then like, okay, so like when the whole George Floyd riots happened, I mean, where do
Mm-hmm.
you live at? Where do you live?
Chicago.
So with the riots, I'm sure we're crazy over there too, right?
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. Hell
Now,
yeah.
um, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if mind disclosing that, but if you went out and
No,
did
no,
that,
no.
but like, um, um, in that when that happened, I
Mm.
didn't go out because I knew those were all planned riots, and I knew that
Right.
I knew BLM was an organization
Right.
that
Same.
didn't have the black person in
Right. Same. Yeah.
and I mean, as a black man yourself, I'm sure, like, you being a woke one at that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It must have been an interesting journey for you to go
Yeah,
through
it
that, you know what I
was.
mean?
Yeah, it was.
Because but I feel like you of all people have like the most important like voice right now. It's like, because you have to be like, hey guys, like, we're not all
You feel me? Like
like,
it's I try to I feel
it's
like
hard.
once you
It's hard.
it's hard, man. You gotta you gotta I just leave that's what like this my whole podcast shit. I just leave different nuggets. So
Yeah,
whatever whoever it resonates with is
exactly. I like
supposed
that.
to, so
Yeah.
even if one episode only has like 2 views, it's only 2 people who is meant to, take that message right now, kind of
Mhm.
thing, but
Yeah.
the seed is there.
And that's a good way
My
to look at
children
it.
can watch this shit later on. Like, this shit wild.
Right,
It's just fucking
dude.
wild.
Like, I haven't even thought of that right now. You just blew my mind. Like, I
See?
haven't even thought about that. Like, okay, but like, right, the fact that you said two people could watch it, and
Hmm.
one of the two could even be changed, and then they could affect 10 people tomorrow.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many people you reach, like, and we're over here trying to hoard more and more followers, like they're gonna matter, like you're gonna reach a
Yeah.
finish line. There's
Damn,
no,
that's
it doesn't
true.
matter. Doesn't You could have 300. We're all, because what is the part that's trying to tell us to look for more? Is that ego? It's trying to, like,
Hmm.
you want more,
Need
you want
more and
more.
more, yeah.
And And these people who I said were coding all this stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They understand they know that we're low vibrational. They're trying to keep us in a low vibration. They know
Right.
the ego mind. The CIA is releasing documents literally describing. Did you see those documents by chance?
I saw some on Twitter, like a bunch. It was
Okay, so
yeah.
they're literal CIA documents that describe consciousness.
Yeah. I saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they literally broke down, hey, we're in a holographic reality and you're experiencing consciousness. Like they literally just broke it down for us and people don't even care. It was like in the news for a
Bro,
day and it was gone. But you can still look these up. But
that's so
like,
fucking wild.
but remember I said they have to tell us what they're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
they're beyond the point of telling us that they're mocking us daily in our news with Joe Biden saying, I'm going to answer
Bro,
questions.
I saw that
They're
earlier. Yeah.
mocking us in our face. We're in the end. It's the end game. We're at,
Yeah.
dude, Avengers Endgame, like
That's so wild.
Avengers Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
like all this stuff is predictive programming. Like it's all the Black Panther's in that. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yep. It's so
that connect.
wild.
Like it's all connected. Like and whether you believe it or not, it's all connected. But like I forget where I even was with. Where were we?
Consciousness.
Oh, well, that's so general. Shit.
Damn.
God damn it. We did it to ourselves. We're high. We go consciousness.
No, because it's interesting because just the you mentioned earlier, just spreading the message and like kind of like how do
Oh, that's what it
you
was. I was just saying I was just saying spreading a message. Like, if you reach anyone, you reach anyone, doesn't matter.
it
Like
doesn't matter at all, man, because like just
because even if you talk to no one, you're cathartically getting it out.
100%, bro.
Bro. And then the next
100%.
day, and you could even have no one even listen, and you've said it, and then you have a realization while you're talking.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a verbal. It's like a journal.
It is June. That's why I appreciate like the tweets I tweet. I just want like who needs it. It can be like this one person.
Yeah,
Or whoever.
I just have to get over the fear of my first episode being fucking shit. I guess I
Bro,
don't. You know what I
it
mean?
don't. The point is, this is your shit. This is your shit. This is your project.
This is my shit.
This is
No,
your
I'm kidding.
shit. This is your shit, and whoever watches it supports you, so they're gonna love it. If they're following you,
That's
they're
true.
gonna support it, man. My
That's
first
true.
episode was fucking shit, and I'm gonna look back at it, but that's part of the journey, man. It's authentic, Richard.
It's
Before,
what's so funny is I know this. We all know this because like okay, every time you hear a piece of information that resonates with you, we go, yeah.
yeah,
Why? Because you already knew it. You're like
exactly.
you're
You're
remembering it.
remembering it
You're
exactly.
remembering it.
You're
You've
remembering
already
it.
done this. You've already incarnated here a few times. We've probably already played this game a
See what
few
I'm
hundred. Like,
saying?
you know what I mean? We've been
Mm-hmm.
playing the same chess game. We were probably alive during World War One. We probably had you know
It's
what I mean?
fucking wild, bro.
You know what I mean? I don't even however far back you want to take that. You can go back to I don't know, but it's interesting the like, and we're learning these same lessons, and we're gonna
Gonna keep.
keep. So on that same law of one thing, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
keep experiencing that 3D reality until you're ready for what Raw calls the harvest.
Mm.
Now, the harvest, what he says is that's the transition. The people who are ready to transition to fourth density,
Mm-hmm.
basically, all you have to do is be 51% service to others. That's not that hard.
No, that's not.
That's
That's,
literally helping an old lady across the street twice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not
yeah.
that hard.
It's kept
Like,
only
you know what I
twice.
mean? Within your
Yeah.
whole lifetime. Yeah, like that's really not that hard. And just like maintaining like a positive
It's frequency.
frequency, you know
You
what I
know.
mean? And not being so self-centered, because the second you're service to self, that's when the ego is completely absorbed you,
Yeah.
and you're just your whole life. Think of like Wolf of Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
Like those guys are the like what you picture when you think of greed and just like pure ego,
Mm-hmm.
and their only goal is to hoard more money
Mm-hmm.
and more power and more, and you know what I mean? They don't
Mm-hmm.
care about who they stomp on to get to the top.
Yep.
They will destroy countries, they will destroy millions of lives just to live in that beautiful home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's an example of the service to self path. Now that person in that incarnation
Mhm.
is experiencing a super service to self. They are like, they have so much karmic debt to repay that they are in for a hell of a ride. You know what I
That's
mean?
crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're gonna keep repaying that karmic debt until their service to others, and they start to become more. So basically, that whole journey of through the
Mhm.
7 octave, it's an octave. You know,
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Music is it's
Mhm.
octaves. It goes through scales, and the densities are like musical scales. And there's 7, and when you get to 7, it's like returning back to the source.
That's
So
cool.
so
That's cool.
it goes like just pure consciousness to like conscious,
Hmm.
like conscious, like plant life animals. Then it's like self-aware. Then it's unity consciousness, which is like fourth. Then it's like I forget. Fifth, sixth are interesting because fifth is like very self centered, and it's kind of like, imagine you get to a point where you have so much knowledge where you just want to go on your own and just like focus on just like pure knowledge. Like
Yeah.
fifth density beings are kind of like, imagine a fifth density being incarnating in a third density body, being
Hmm.
like someone who knows it all and has no emotion, like
Yeah.
someone who is super smart but has no emotion behind it. Like, you know what I mean? Like they'll tell you the
It's like that
truth.
monotone
You
type
know what I mean? They'll
voice.
tell you the
Yeah.
truth. They'll tell you the truth, and they'll be like, You needed this. Like, you needed that." And you'd be
Hmm.
like, "Why? How could you say that? Like, that's so rude." Like, no, but that's so true. You know what I mean?
It's so
Like,
true. Like, how dare you?
yeah. So
Yeah.
like that would be an example of like a fifth density. So someone who like is like, they've been here, they've done it a lot of times, but they're coming here to this third density because their third density is like
Yeah.
somewhere rich. It's really rich with catalysts for change and growth. You know what I mean?
That's so
So
cool.
so you can choose to incarnate here to like essentially play the game of life, to
Play the
learn
game.
lessons, to learn specific lessons. You're like, hey, I want to incarnate in a body with an amputated leg so that I
Hmm.
learn that I don't need legs, that I can be, you know what I mean? Maybe that was like the
Whatever,
specific,
whatever the lesson that you want to
whatever the
learn.
lesson is.
Hmm.
So we're all sharing this planes, this dream space, this like whatever you want to call it, conscious
Life's,
space.
yeah.
Life's a dream, right?
Life's a
Oh,
dream, man.
I guess I can shout out my. I mean, I've come
Go
up with a name
ahead.
for my podcast. It's
Go
going to be
ahead, man.
awake. That's going to be awake in the dream. I want to call
I
it
fuck with that,
awake
man.
in the
Let's
dream.
go.
So that's a kind of a cool little synchronicity there, I guess. But
I fuck with
because
that.
I kind of realized that it's all like a shared dream
Yeah.
experience, like, you know what I mean? Because when we go to bed at night, we dream, our consciousness kind of projects into this other
Yep. Nope.
space, and
Yep.
we work out whatever problems subconsciously in our mind, and then we come back into
Bring that knowledge
this,
back.
yeah, and then we kind of, whether we remember it or not, and you can, some people are more adept to like, um, reading their dreams and
Yeah.
the symbolism, and I
Yeah.
think I want to do that more. I think to be honest, I might come back on this soon and try to focus on my dreams, because when I do you dream a
Same.
lot when you
I
smoke?
can't because
I can't
I
dream that
know it's
much.
intense, but yeah, I gotta.
Exactly. I wake up with the feeling of, I just went through something so meaningful and I missed it
Hmm.
all. It's
Yeah.
like, and I have a theory here, dude. When we smoke, we're more adept in this realm, right?
Right.
And it's hindering our ability in those astral
That
realms,
makes sense. That
right?
makes sense. Yeah.
So you kind of got to choose, and you got to choose that balance. There's duality
Yeah.
here. There's polarity here. I feel
Hmm.
like if you really wanted to be like a balance, you gotta kind of gotta know, like, damn, dude,
You
I gotta cut
do.
back. I gotta
You
cut
get.
back.
Yeah.
But
That's.
yeah, right. Go
No.
ahead.
No.
Sorry.
That's because I've noticed that like because it'll be like some intense ass dreams, but I can only remember maybe like a fraction of it. But
Yeah,
I'm definitely taking a little break from it. I always
dude.
so
Do you want to do it together? You want to keep each other? Want to keep each other?
so if I'm keeping it 100 right now, this one that I was smoking was like the last of my supply, and then I was
Damn.
wrapping it up
Okay. Well, I
after
just re-upped, but if you keep it up, this is gonna go by like, this is all I have. So this is gonna go in like a day.
Okay, okay, fair play, fair play.
This is like a day or
That
two.
definitely looked
If
like
you
some
can
shit.
last like
Go ahead.
This is, you know what I mean? This is draining my money. This is money that I could be fucking
Like
investing
investing
in.
it. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I
I
mean?
always I always ask this last question to my guests. What would your message be to humanity at this time?
Focus on yourself, go within. Um, Man, so much stuff we've been told to like external sources for our happiness, like all the
Mm-hmm.
things that we're told in our life are meant to be happy. We're told to get a job, that's have a house, to do all this, to get a car, all that stuff to show everyone else that you're happy. Maybe take some time to reanalyze what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't know, I've been talking to a lot of my friends, and I know that they said that, man, this pandemic was so tragic, but man, it allowed me to really analyze my life and take a step back and like,
Yeah.
you know, and it, whether we want to believe there's an evil plot to like, kill us all and the vaccines are blah blah blah, but whatever you want to believe,
Mm-hmm.
uh there's still people waking up, and there's
Mm-hmm.
still a mass awakening happening.
Yeah.
And whether they were trying to control the awakening and they're just trying to, I mean, whether
Yeah.
they know it's coming and they know everyone's going to wake up, but they're just like, keep them in the dark. No,
Right.
you know what I mean? Because look what's happening, everything's going digital.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're going on, I don't know how long here, but everything's going digital.
Yeah.
And that's what they want, this
Yeah.
grid. This whole time, what was you couldn't talk about fight. I'm not even gonna say it. You
Mm-hmm.
couldn't talk about the thing with the towers and the,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
you can't talk about it because you get taken off of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the infrastructure is being set up in the background while all this bullshit's happening in the news. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's an infrastructure for a future system. They're saying they're building back better, the Great Reset, this virus giving us an opportunity to build back better. Whatever their
Nah.
story they're giving us to set up this one world government, one world religion thing. We see the stories of like UFOs disclosure now,
Yeah.
and they're straight up telling us they're coming. They're
Mm-hmm.
coming, and you can believe. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, but if it's gonna be a fake one, or you know what I mean.
I think it's gonna be a fake one, yeah.
I don't know what's coming. I mean, obviously they're telling us, if they're gonna show us in our face, something's controlled,
Yeah.
or it's a Project Blue Beam. I don't know how much we want to, but I don't even know about that stuff. I just know it's there. But whatever. Focus on yourself. I'm here. I go jumping down more rabbit holes.
Focus on yourself, guys. Sure, man. It's been a fun ass episode, bro. You're welcome on anytime.
Dude, I'm gonna probably have you on.
Please do.
I want to do one episode of my own and just kind of do a quick like 30-minute,
Yeah,
um just little quick rant, and
if you
then what's up?
if you need any advice or anything, just let me know, man.
Yeah, thank you.
100%.
Yeah,
This
so I'm
podcast
probably gonna
can
do
do it.
one by myself, and then I want to have maybe my roommate on, and you're definitely like one of the first people that
Appreciate
you're
that,
probably gonna be
man.
like the first guest, maybe.
I
Shit.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man, I'm excited.
Hell yeah, man.
Let's go.
Guys, as always, you're the creator of your own reality. Just be conscious, be about love, and just be of service to others. Be great, man, and get high.